Today we're at EV Autos near downtown Dallas to talk to a fellow, Ken C., that I met recently at a conference. The neat thing about Ken was that selling electric automobiles is not just a vocation for him, it's an avocation. It's the way he lives his life, and you'll see that in the way this works. Here comes Ken now. Hi, Ken.
How you doing, Buzz?
Good. So again, this is EV Autos. You got your start in commercial vehicles to begin with.
Yeah, we started in business about 7 years ago in Austin, selling NEVs or mid-speed or low-speed vehicles throughout the state of Texas and the 5-state area. That's how we got started.
We're going to take a look at some of those in a little bit, and then there's a more consumer-oriented vehicle that we're going to take a test drive of. But first, let's take a look at how they do green things here at EV Autos. Okay, Ken, so we're in your garden area. Why don't you take us on a tour and let us know what we're looking at?
We developed this sustainable garden. It used to be actually a home. It was a Model 126 Sears home, and the foundation in front is still left here. But we turned it into a sustainable garden. In the springtime, we plant all kinds of vegetables out here, as well as the wildflowers in the wintertime. We've got, I got the last couple of watermelons coming in right here. And then the foundation area up here next spring, we're going to turn it into basically a water feature. Well, water will be shooting off in different colors at night, and you'll be able to see it. And then our regular garden, I've got it covered up for the year. I still have one tomato plant producing a few tomatoes there, but cover this up and get it ready for the spring to plant the rest of the stuff here in the garden. We've got everything from our composting over here, as well as our rain capture and gutter system on the front and the back side of the building, so we can water all the plants and everything that we have through the rainwater that we capture in the tank. It does real well. We had the Arboretum Society in the city of Dallas come out, and one of the employees who used to be with them started the garden and getting everything going for us in the situation of setting everything out so we have plants and flowers blooming all times of the year. So we have all kinds of perennials that come up each different parts of the year. So Buzz, this is our entertainment area, our cabana here. We basically built this onto the side of the building, this existing building. It was down for 10 years, and we basically completely refurbished this building. Even from getting an old bathtub and turning it into the beverage tub, so when people come out and we have functions, they can ice down all the beverages. It drains right off into the garden system, just like the rain capturing gutter system that we have throughout the facility.
It's nice that it's covered with some ceiling fans. It does get hot in the summer in Texas.
Yeah, it does. It works real well in here. We still have a little more work that we're going to do in here, but it serves our purpose when we need it.
Well, that ought to hold a few beers. You ever counted how many you can get in there?
No, I've never figured that one out yet. We can put kegs in there too. Some of the medium-sized kegs that go in there as well.
And you mentioned you had an education area, meeting area inside.
Yeah, come on in. I'll show it to you. So this is the EV Learning Center. Basically, college students, high school students come out and learn about electric vehicles and how they're put together. Next door in our 9,000 square feet that we have over there, they could actually see an installation of a final build of an electric vehicle. But going back to the building here, our flooring is all bamboo flooring. It's all sustainable. The pillars out here are all concrete. It's redone concrete to turn into simulated rock to make it look like
those aren't actually like flagstones stacked up?
Really not stone. That's all fake stone, if you want to call it that. But it's re-rocked, basically, as well as the cedar on the back of the building. Anything sustainable that we could do throughout the facility when we built the facility or refurbished the facility. Even the lighting and everything, we came up with 2 4x8 sheets of plywood, put a clear white plexiglass on there and hung these lights down. And when they were first doing it, I was scratching my head because I'm not a design guy, but it came out pretty neat looking, I think, considering it looked better than looking up at a garage door.
Yeah, it does look neat.
It does real well.
Well, Ken, this is an interesting looking electric vehicle. What's the story on this?
The Dallas Police Department has 3 of these that they use downtown area. This vehicle goes 25 miles an hour. It'll go 80 miles on a charge. It only takes 2 hours for them to charge it up at night. But instead of walking around and being tired, if they have to get in a pursuit, they can ride around. They can jump off of this while it's moving. It just slides to a stop. But the reason this one's here is we modified this vehicle to actually ride better by widening the rear tires. You won't tip over as easy. We have a little problem with speed and turning. And we actually widened the vehicle out 4 inches on each side to maintain a better stable ride. It's got lights and sirens and
really
everything that you need set up on it. But it'll do everything.
I got to have one of these.
You can buy them. Stay secure.
If you've been reading my blog, you know that we've got a couple of Blink chargers in our home, the level 2 chargers. Ken's gone a step better than me though, and there it is. This Blink station's part of the Blink network and is powered by the sun. We get a bit of that here in Texas. There's plenty of it to go around, so this is a pretty neat way to set it up. Does this supply all the electricity this needs?
It basically goes back to grid because we have 3 other stations on the other side of the property here. But it goes, they take it off our grid each month. But our power that we use is all wind power. That we purchase basically is all wind power that we have coming into the facility as well.
Okay. Yep, we've got our home set up that way.
So that way we can be zero emission all the way.
Excellent. Okay, Ken, what's the story on this?
Well, last year we had all the Clean Cities Coalition coordinators across the United States here at the facility. They had a big meeting in Dallas, and we did their night out here. And 2 days before we did that, I went to the scrapyard and got 2,000 pounds worth of steel. And we basically built this to, we cooked 16 briskets on it the night and served them 2 days later. So it's a sustainable grill.
A sustainable grill made from scrap metal recycled. You got to love that. And when he said 16, he meant 16 all at once. Ken, as I understand it, this is kind of the beginnings of the company, the beginnings of your time in electric autos. So how long have you been selling electric vehicles?
I've been in the industry about 8 years altogether now. Started out with little gem cars, little golf carts, basically were street legal. Put those on the state contract, started going around to all the colleges and the city ofs and selling those to them. Then we picked up this line called Miles Electric Vehicles. It's a 3-cylinder diesel in Japan. We basically build it there in their factory with an American electric drivetrain, typically what you find in a 10,000-pound electric forklift. It's the same components, and so we do it's a 72 volt with a 35 horsepower AC drive motor. Air conditioned, heated, just like the regular car that you drive at home. In the mid-speed market, the top speed is 35. It used to be 25. We changed the law, and myself and my general manager and Senator Ellis actually put SB 129 together and had the law in Texas changed to 35 miles an hour on the hope that some consumers would commute more at a 35 mile an hour car. Still not quite there because the distance only being 50 miles. A little bit of range anxiety when it comes into that.
Okay, so this is what we came to test drive today. What can you tell us about it?
This is a new Coda. I drove this car 5 years ago as a prototype when I worked with Miles. Miles Rubin, who owns Miles Electric Vehicles, also owns Coda. The companies were split basically to disassociate high speed with low speed. But they've been over-engineering the car for 5 years now, as I say. We've been driving these for about 2 months now and have absolutely no problems at all. They contacted me and asked me if I would take 2 of these units and see what the interest is here in the state of Texas for the fleet sales of the vehicle. Consumer sales, we already know we won't have a problem. With a range of 125,000 miles on a charge, 125 miles on a charge is phenomenal compared to anything else that's out in the market right now. It's got a 31 kilowatt hour battery pack. So if you average paying 10 cents a kilowatt hour for your power, basically it's going to cost you $3.10 to fill it up. Right now, a gallon of gas is about $3 as well. It gets 125 miles to the gallon. If you look at the comparable aspect of electric versus gasoline. The big difference is that consumers, like the city of Dallas, they pay 15 cents a mile to maintain their vehicles. That's oil changes, brake pads, anything that needs to be done in the maintenance side of the vehicle. Well, since you and I don't buy oil in 55-gallon barrels, it costs us a little bit more. It's about 20 cents a mile for us to operate a regular car. Well, when you take a gasoline motor out and remove 1,000 moving parts out of the car, what you're left with when you have an electric vehicle is you've got less than 100 moving parts if you don't consider nuts and bolts to put the car together. But the operating aspect of the vehicle, and when you have that many less moving parts on the vehicle, there's a lot less to maintain. So your maintenance is going to be air in the tires, washer fluid, and brake fluid. Now the car is designed to stop 75% by the motor, the last 25% by the brake pads. So it's going to be a long time before you wear out any brake pads. So maintenance is going to be pretty cheap for you.
Yeah, even though my Volt does have a gas engine to run the generator, I've been kind of surprised that the oil change it recommends looks like I'm going to have my first oil change right around the end of the lease at 3 years. So yeah, it's not just the savings on gasoline that's important in these vehicles, it's the maintenance cost. And Ken was gracious enough to give us a tour of its parts department earlier, and it was quite honestly so boring we didn't shoot it. Basically, there's 4 bins of parts, and that's it. Not much goes wrong on these. One of the things I noticed about this car, compared to my experience with the Volt is this is a real 5-passenger car. You've got a 3-person back seat where the battery pack prevents that from happening on the Volt. They have a console in the middle of the back seat.
Right.
So definitely 5 full adults in here, leather interior, even lit door jambs, which are pretty neat with the Coda logo.
Yeah, they're also, you've heard of Better Place, where they drop your battery out of the bottom of your car and put another one in and you keep on going. We have a program in San Francisco with a taxi service going right now with Better Place.
Oh, really?
And we're actually doing battery swaps on these vehicles to see how it's going to work throughout the United States.
Yeah, I've just read recently there are service stations are being set up that way for cars that can do the quick battery change.
Basically.
Yeah, very quick instead of going through an hour or two of charging. So this one, decked out like this, what would something like this run?
This vehicle is $37,250, the way it sits.
Does it get the $7,500 tax
Yeah, so
incentive?
basically, when you're all done, you're under $30,000 after your federal tax credit. You bet.
Wow. And what all do you get with that? What kind of sound system do you have?
It's got a really nice Pioneer navigation system. You can
30,000 is with nav.
yeah, you can hook up the USB port right to the radio, and anything that you have on your phone can run right in through the screen on the navigation system as far as finding a charging station. Anything like that will pull up, and your nav screen becomes your phone screen, basically. Bluetooth capability, anything. It does everything but predict the weather for you, basically. It's a nice system.
Well, Ken had to go, believe it or not, get a car for his daughter. And Victor is going to be kind enough to take us on a test drive in this car. So I know enough to do park and brake off. There is a key to turn.
You'll see the ready button that's going to be flashing over here in the corner.
Uh-huh.
You can see there. And then you just tilt the wheel.
Bring that down, yep. And just dial
And then
this.
just dial that to either reverse, neutral, or drive. And of course, we're going to be going forward, so we're going to be going to drive.
Oh, okay. So yeah, just a dial transmission. And we're on our way. The usual quiet acceleration of an electric vehicle, which is so much fun. Which way are we going to go?
We'll be going to the left.
Okay. Very smooth ride. Here we are running with the AC on, getting on the freeway, no problem at all. Real nice pickup, real smooth ride. Beautiful autumn day in Dallas. Oh shoot,
We can take the next
We're
exit
going-
and then just come back around and come back this
all
way.
right. Yeah, we were going 75. We're actually 78. We're going too fast. You don't realize,
You don't realize
the
how
speed.
fast
Yeah.
the car goes. 221 pounds of torque.
Victor, great test drive. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Glad you enjoyed it.
And being an electric car owner myself, I want to thank Ken and Victor for letting me plug into their Blink and juicing up my ride. See you soon, guys.